We're going to be discussing the role of incubators and accelerators in the development of startups, particularly given that the UK has probably more incubators and accelerator programs than any other country in Europe, and here in London alone there is probably more than 100. So to help navigate me through that topic, I'm delighted to say I've got Ben from EnergyDeck. Ben is the CEO and founder of EnergyDeck, who are a startup that we've had much contact with over the last 4 years. Ben, welcome to Startup Hub.
Thank you.
And I guess before we get started, let's just talk a little bit about what EnergyDeck's all about.
So EnergyDeck is an Internet of Things platform for buildings. We call ourselves often the IBM Watson of buildings. So what EnergyDeck does is a web-based platform. It captures all the data about buildings we could possibly get our hands on: electricity consumption, gas consumption, occupancy, temperatures, and so on. We then analyze this data, put it in our database, analyze it, and help users understand how efficient their building operates, what the performance is compared to similar buildings of a similar type, and where optimization opportunities are, with the ultimate objective to help them save energy, resources, save costs, and increase occupant health and well-being.
In your opinion, what is the role of an accelerator?
So for us, an accelerator is a program that can help early stage startups and slightly later stage startups as well get their operations to the next level. What that means next level depends really on the stage you're at. So if you're really very early stage, say in the first year or so of your life as a startup, it's about understanding the business model, fine-tuning it, identifying the customer, identifying the value proposition, and building the MVP, the minimum viable product. If you're somewhat later stage, then the accelerator will be about maybe getting you towards fundraising, helping you raise an A round or a seed round, and also help you find customers for your product.
And in terms of some of the terminology, that can, I mean, a lot of people understand it, but it can be confusing for some people. What in your view is the difference between, say, an incubator, an accelerator, and a post-accelerator?
So an incubator is really when you come in, you don't have customers necessarily, you have a concept of your product, or you have an MVP, minimum viable product already ready, and you want to develop that into something that's viable and that's useful and that's practical in the market, where you can find some demand for. Accelerator for me would then be the next stage where you can then be put into touch with customers, and ultimately I think that's how a lot of accelerators define themselves: raise funding or get to the next stage of funding. So depending on where you come in with the accelerator, sometimes you might have raised no capital and you can raise seed capital afterwards, or the accelerator typically invests, or you have raised some seed rounds or a seed round already, and then it's all about getting you ready for the A round. And then you have the Innovation Center, and we talked about ID London. We had just spent 2 weeks at 2 weeks. We've been out of ID London for 2 weeks, and before that we were 2 years at ID London. And for me, it's the next stage after the accelerator, and it can also run in parallel sometimes to accelerate.
Why should startups apply for those programs in this modern connected world where a small organisation can just appear very big very quickly?
Yeah. You say appear very, very big very quickly. I typically say it's easy, and from my own experience as well, and I've seen this with others, so it's easy to build stuff. I mean, to build stuff fast, and obviously it's all about also failing fast, which is the harder part, really. But it's easy to build stuff. Technology is something that all us entrepreneurs, most of us, we understand, we can sort it out, we can make it work. The hardest thing is distribution. How do you get out there with your limited budgets, marketing budgets, or inexistent marketing budgets? How do you get out there and gain not even scale, but replicability of your business model, and then distribution? I think that's where Incubator, Accelerator, Innovation Center can help at the different levels.
Ben, you've just come through 2 years at Ideal London. Now that you've moved out and you're 2 weeks out of it, what for you were the real benefits of being on a program like that?
So for us, there were really multiple benefits. To sum it up, first of all, and you can't put it any other way, is really the affiliation with Cisco in our case. So that was a fantastic benefit already to start with, and brought us really, really great opportunities with customers and product development. Secondly, the way ID London is run, and I would think accelerators as well, is there's a theme or a topic or an industry or vertical that these programs are run in, or a context. In the case of ID London, it was the connected buildings environment 2 years ago. And so with us, there were, I think in our group, there were 5 or 6 startups over time, all with sort of complementary product propositions, but similar customers, or sometimes we were going after the same customers. So it was really great to be able to sit down with them, exchange ideas, lessons learned, best practices, but also think proactively and constructively about how can we go after those same customers as a joint up team, maybe even with Cisco. So that's been a really, really fantastic opportunity. And the third one really is the customers, or the people that have visited ID London through you, through UCL and so on. These are people that, some of whom we may have been able to get in contact with, some of whom we may have been in contact with, but at that rate and frequency and level of management, we wouldn't have been able to see that many people in a 2-year time frame.
Ben, thanks for coming in and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.